Good morning and happy coffee, everybody. Let's do some gardening. So right here, I have one empty tier of my GreenStalk, and this morning we are going to plant it out with dwarf tomatoes. So I have this container of, it's some potting soil, some used garden soil, some cocoa coir from when I redid the Snakey's tank. Just a mixture of a bunch of different stuff, some used, some not. But this is all I have right now, so this is what's going to fill the container. So with a GreenStalk, it says on every edge here that you want to fill it all the way to the top, because once you fill the GreenStalk with soil and water it in, the soil will settle and get lower, so they recommend that you fill it all the way to the top. So I'm going to do that. Now you do want to take into consideration that if you're putting started plants in here, then those plants will come with some soil, so you'll need to dig a space to be able to put that soil in here, and then you might have to backfill around them a little bit. So I'm actually going to fill it just to here, and then we're going to get the tomatoes. Okay, here are the tomatoes. So these are Orange Hat Dwarf cherry tomatoes. So they will only stay about this tall. The seed came from Baker Creek. These are orange tomatoes, like I said, Orange Hat, obviously, an orange tomato. I grew these last year and they were really, really good. The only thing is they get diseased pretty quickly. So that's why I'm putting them here in my GreenStalk, because then once they get diseased and I don't want to be troubled with them anymore, I can just take them out and I can replant the GreenStalk with greens or put more strawberries in here. Lots of possibilities with the GreenStalk, so that's why I'm choosing to put them in here. They're also, like I said, dwarf varieties, so it feels nonsensical for me to be putting them in my full-size containers, like where I put my big tomatoes, because they just don't need that much space. You don't have to worry about planting tomatoes too deep, because they can produce roots all along their stems. So I'm going to remove these bottom few leaves and plant them just a little bit deep. This one has 2 in it, but the rest of them I think only have 1 per. That's fine. It'll be a good little experiment. We'll see how the double tomato does. Goodness, it is already getting warm out here, and it's only like 8 a.m. Oh, this one is also a double. I lied. So we'll have 2 doubles. That's fine. Put them directly across from each other. Okay, last tomato going in the GreenStalk. So I have to work today, and if you watch my channel often, you will notice that gardening before work on a Friday is something that I often do, and that is because my love bug has to be at work at 8 a.m. on Fridays, so he leaves around 7:30. So after my love bug leaves at 7:30 on Fridays, I have a few hours until 9:30, so almost 2 hours to walk my dogs, make my coffee, do all that sort of thing. And usually I'd rather be outside with the plants, so I come outside with the plants. So here is the top tier of my GreenStalk. Well, I guess it's just a single tier right now, but I plan for it to be the top tier. And it has, oh, that's an old corum, a bunch of orange hat dwarf cherry tomatoes. So like I said, these are a dwarf variety. This one has a tiny tomato on it. The tomatoes probably get about that big in comparison to that big. It'll get probably double that size. The only thing that I've noticed as a negative with these tomatoes, you can probably see it down here, is that they get blight really, really early. Last year they had powdery mildew, and the bottom leaves were just dying really quickly. They just don't have a very long lifespan. So I'll do what I can to make them as happy as possible. I should probably go get some water and water this in, which is perfect because these zinnias really would like some water. It rained yesterday, but not enough for them to get fully saturated. So I need to bring a watering can out here to hit these. And these on the ground, these are sunflowers. They're probably stunted at this point, but I'll still grow them. They'll still be pretty. It'll be fine. I got it. I hit the flowers and then I'll come back and do this one more time. Oh, hello, giant toad. I didn't see you there. You scared the crap out of me, brother. Don't worry, I'm fine with you eating all the bugs here. I'm not touching you. You stay right where you are, sir. I'm just gonna water these plants. Probably could have done with another watering can, but I'm not gonna do that. Yes, I am. I went ahead and got another watering can because I noticed that more of these plants needed water than I thought, so we're just gonna give everything a little drink. Give some to the little cucumbers. And the cosmos. That one has some standing water in the bottom, so those will soak it up. I'm going to give some to these guys, even though some of them are absolutely going to be composted, but that's alright. And then another douse for these tomatoes so that I can make sure they are nicely watered in. And to clean off the leaves, because my leaves being covered in dirt really bothers me for some reason. I think that's as good as it's going to get for now. I wish I had more time to spend out here this morning, but I don't. I have to go to work. So I will see you guys back out in the garden when I come home and have some more time. Good morning. Please excuse my everything. It's a few days later from when we planted this GreenStalk with the tomatoes. This morning I'm just doing some cleanup and refreshing out in the garden. Let me show you. So I've taken lots of tomatoes from here and these empty spots here. These are all of the ones that I have decided to murder because it is not worth my space. It's worth my time, but it's not worth my space in the garden with having a small container garden to try and nurse those back to life after I neglected them terribly. They've been sitting outside since the festival and I've been giving them water, but they've terribly outgrown their pots. A lot of them were root bound, so I just ripped up the greens out of the little pots and I'm pouring all the soil into here so that I can reuse it. These here are all Roma tomatoes that don't look great, but I think that they will bounce back and probably produce me some fruit. I'm not going to put them in my containers because Romas are determinate tomatoes anyway. I'd have to replace them pretty soon. I'm going to put them in pots and just see what happens with those. So yes, I neglected my plants, as I do sometimes. It's not a rare occurrence. It's not also an occurrence that I would like to be often. So I just finished all the tomatoes, and the tomatoes that I am keeping, I placed on top of my garden beds where I want them to stay. So the next thing we're about to do is take this container of soil over to where my strawberry green stalks are and top them up, plant them out. My mom got me some strawberries from the auction that she went to this past Saturday, and I actually tasted one, and it was really, really good. Even though it was still slightly green in the seeds and the strawberry was this big, it was actually really yummy. Trying to film for you guys in between the spurts of rain. So here is my disassembled green stalk. These cups here are the strawberries that my mom just brought to me. Not the honey-o, those are over there. But this is one of the berries. I just dug out a hole in this green stalk, and we're gonna plop it in here. That's a little too deep, I think, so I'm gonna refill the hole a little. I'd rather it be a little shallow than a little deep, because you can bury strawberries too deep and kill them, which I have for sure done. So about like that. And then I'm just going to flop this the other way and fill in behind it, just to the level that the soil was already at for this strawberry. Now this green stalk is not filled up all the way to the top like they recommend, but I'm not redoing the whole green stalk. I'm just adding 2 strawberries to the empty pockets. It has 2 in it, but one of them's gonna go here. Oh, that one has a runner on it. I'm gonna put that one in the other part of the green stalk then, so that there's an empty pocket for me to put that runner into. So first we're just gonna break all this up. Took a moment. There are the 2 strawberry plants. So when I say brown doesn't like to be buried, here are the roots, and then there's this part where it's kind of hard and you can't see the roots, but there's also no plant matter. That is the crown, so you do not want to bury it any deeper than about right here. All of that should be above the soil. This one, since it's more of a bare root, I'm going to spread out the roots like this and kind of sit it where I want it to be, and then backfill on top of it. There we go. That is 1 full tier of the green stalk. Okay. I took apart the honey-o. I've never heard of that. Honey-o strawberries. And we've got 1, 2. This is technically 2, but they're small. This is technically 2, but they're small. And I've got 1 more right here that I'm going to put in this pocket. This pocket is going to be taken up by this runner. And this strawberry also has a couple of runners, so I will have to bring pots out here to set in here and root them in soil. But this will be the last strawberry that we need to plant for right now. This guy's a little baby. I don't want to plant it too deep. There we go. Lots of strawberries now. That is all done. And this strawberry is still not ripe enough for it to be a prize, so that's fine. Like I said, the tomatoes are settling in well to their new home. I'm not going to stack the green stalk right now because here soon I'm going to go to the hardware store and get a couple of like paving stones and set it on a paver stone so that it's not in the dirt and it can be level. Alright guys, the green stalk has been refreshed, the strawberries have been planted, and the tomatoes are settling in well to their new home. This might be a short video, I don't really know, but this is what I've been doing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.